This is a training session for assessment plans. We've logged in as the assessor and we go to the Assessment Tools tab. The very first thing that you might want to do is in your file library, you might want to add some documents to the file library that you may wish to use and add to the assessment plans. These documents in the file library can be used and reused, but they can be added to templates when you create the assessment plans. So that might be the first job that you do. In the same way that you upload a document to an email, you browse, you find the document that you're looking for, open it, and then upload it. And then that will upload the documents to the file library for you so that you can use it in the future. To create a new assessment plan, you go to the Create New Assessment Plan Templates tab. So everything that you're doing here is a template so that they can be used, reused, they can be applied to many learners at once or just a single learner time after time. There are two different types of assessment plans you can create. One which is not linked to any qualifications units. An example of that might be an induction assessment plan template whereby you might give your learners equality and diversity, appeals procedure kind of documents. They'll be stored in your file library so that when you create an assessment plan not linked, it asks you what the name of the assessment plan is. So in there you would write induction plan, and then you may have the notes which might be please read attached. And then you would share the files from the file library. So this is where you would open up your file library, find the document that you wish the learner to use as, it might be equality and diversity as I mentioned before. So you tick to say that you would like that particular document attached to this assessment plan, and then that assessment plan is saved. All of the assessment plans that are saved for you are then put into the View, Edit, Apply Single Assessment Plan Templates. If we scroll all the way down to the bottom, assessment plans not linked to criteria, we will see the assessment plan that we've just created in that area there. Okay, so if we're creating a new assessment plan against a qualification, we would select the qualification to which this refers. So we'll use the Diploma in Customer Service Level 2 and then continue. The template then asks us which units this particular plan is designed to hit the criteria from within. So you may have something like a bank of questions, some underpinning knowledge that you want them to do, some reading from the website, and it might cover, say, for example, Unit 204. So we'll select 204 and then select the unit at the bottom. This template can cover more than one unit. So I could have ticked more than one unit if I wished. I've only ticked 204, so it's brought up all of the criteria within 204. I then select the performance criteria to which this task or activity that I have in mind is going to meet by way of the criteria for this unit. If it's all of them, then I select all of them. I can take out a couple of ticks if I wish. Select the criteria, and then I give the assessment plan a name. Now it's important to give the assessment plan a generic name because this is a template. So it shouldn't be the name of a learner. Unit 1 might be a little bit too vague, or Unit 204. You may wish to say exactly what that particular task or activity you're doing is. So if we say it's making a cup of tea, that's the name of our plan. So we know without opening our plan that we know what it is, we know the kind of things that our learner is going to do. And again, the notes might be read attached. Again, we can share files from the file library. Here they are. We can select any of those that we wish. And then we can also see the assessment criteria that we ticked off just now. If you wish to, you can actually delete the second column here, how the learner can do it, and you can explain in plain English the tasks, activities, kind of things that the learner might do in order to hit that particular criteria. That's your choice. And then save. So it's telling me it will be saved under the Diploma in Customer Service Level 2. Once I OK that, the assessment plan that I've just created will be located in this area here. I scroll down, this is the one here, making a cup of tea. That's the one that I just created, and it's designed to hit these criteria. So it's put me in the view, edit and apply, and I can see down at the bottom my options are, do I want to view it, edit it, delete it, or apply it to learners? And I do wish to apply it to the learners, so I'm going to select that particular plan and select apply to learners. Now, the next screen that appears is a list of all of my learners. I'm able to see that there's only actually 2 learners here that I could apply this template to, and that is Krista Lee and Tim Stewart. I am not able to give it to Nana, this progress review one, Patrick, or testing password, because they do not have unit 204 already assigned to them. So if you ever see a red number in this particular column, it means that you can't assign that assessment plan to them because they don't have that unit or units if this plan covers more than one unit. So the boxes of applying the assessment plan to them have been greyed out. So the only people that I can physically give this plan to are these 2 people here, Krista and Tim. Krista has a valid email address, and therefore I could tick to say I'd like her to get an email notification to say this plan is on its way. I can't do that to Tim because his email address is not valid, so that won't allow me to tick there. I've ticked the box requiring learners confirmation, but equally I could say, well, if I just want to send this plan to my learner, but I don't actually want them to acknowledge it, I put a tick in this box. In most cases, you'll probably want your learner to get an acknowledgement so that they know that you've put an assessment plan in their area. So I'm assigning this single template to either one learner or many learners, completely up to me what I decide to do. The name of the assessment plan is still there. I can alter, amend, change that if I wish. I must add a target date, and the target date may be 2 weeks, so you may give your learner 2 weeks to do this. It could be 6 months, it could be end of qualification. It depends on the size of your assessment plan and exactly what the task and activity is. Some people create assessment plans which are for the whole delivery of the whole qualification, in which case the target date would normally be the end of qualification target date. Again, I've got some notes area here. I wrote read attached previously. You can amend that and add any other notes if you wish. At this point, you can see which files have been associated with this assessment plan. If you decide that other documents need adding as well, you can do that at this stage. You can see assessment criteria for this plan. And then you can also see whether or not the learner has confirmed this plan. The learner hasn't confirmed it yet, but we have asked that the learner does confirm. So when we look at this plan against the learner will see whether or not the learner has put a tick in the box there. By ticking the apply to learners, it does exactly that. It will apply this particular plan to the learners. That's how you apply a single assessment plan template to either one or many learners. If you've got lots of assessment plans that you wish to apply to either a single learner or lots of learners, you use the second tab along, which is the apply multiple. So you have a slightly different page when you first open up this one. Here is our qualification, and this is our assessment plan here, same one. Apply to learners. And we come up with this same page here again. If we go back a page, we can select more than one assessment plan at this particular stage if we wish. So there are 4 assessment plans that I'd like to give my learners at once. Exactly the same page comes up. I can allocate it to Krista and Tim. Here are the assessment plans that I'm assigning to all of these learners, and I can put the same or separate target dates in this area here. So some of them need a week, some of them need 2 weeks. You can then allocate them as you wish from this area here and apply to learners. You will notice by using the applying multiple plans at once, you don't have the ability to amend the actual document itself in the way that we could amend the notes and the title of the assessment plan in the first tab. We can't actually do that in the applying multiple assessment plan area. So make sure the correct information is recorded on the plans before you come to this particular tab. You can do that by going into the edit area of the assessment plans. So if we select our plan again, and then go down to Edit Assessment Plan Template. This one then just allows us to change the name and add any notes, add any other documents if we wish at this particular stage. So the Assessment Tools area is where you create the plans. You apply either a single assessment plan or multiple assessment plans to either single learners or multiple learners. Once those plans are applied, you will find them in the My Learners section under the Assessment Plans tab. And you will see we're working with Krista here. We can see that Krista has a series of assessment plans that have been applied to her for the Diploma in Customer Service. And we'll see actually probably a couple of entries for our assessment plan today. Here we go, this one here. Making a cup of tea, making a cup of tea. That's because we applied the first one as a single and the second one as a multiple assessment plan assigned. You will notice that this particular assessment plan has a green tick against it. That means that this assessment plan has been signed off. Any that do not have the green tick recorded against them means that they have not been signed off. If we open up the plan, this is where we can see exactly what happened with that particular plan. We can see whether or not the learner has yet confirmed whether or not they've seen this particular plan. We can have a look at the assessment criteria. If any evidence had been uploaded against this particular assessment plan, we would see the information in respect of the evidence comments in that area there. We can see any files that have been uploaded in this area here. There have been no files uploaded directly to this assessment plan yet. If we wish to add additional documents once the plan has been given to our learner, we can do that by editing the plan. So we can see the files that have already been uploaded, and this is our file library, so we can add additional files if we wish. But if we wish to add an ad hoc one directly to the assessment plan, in exactly the same way we did in the beginning, we can browse, we can find a document from our computer and then upload that particular file if we wish. And there we go, that's the file uploaded directly to this assessment plan, so it's been uploaded to there, and then we save it. And then that will save that particular document just for this learner's assessment plan if we needed to do that. When we load evidence against the learner, when you scroll down to the criteria met section, you will see underneath here a series of different coloured titles. These are assessment plans that have been assigned to that learner. We did making a cup of tea earlier on today, so if I put a dot in the box of making a cup of tea, what opens up in the qualification below are all the criteria that I ticked off to say if my learner does that task or activity, they are likely to hit those criteria. So it just highlights the criteria for me. If this particular piece of evidence is mapped into a couple of different assessment plans, so if we look at cooking tea will then open up with some different criteria. Those ones already ticked, but we've got an additional one down there that has been designed to be met by this assessment plan as well. So when we come to sign off the assessment plans, we will find that all of the criteria against the blue assessment plan and all of the criteria against the green one have all been met because we've managed to tick them all. This one was on the previous one. So that's how you can map your criteria for your pieces of evidence against the assessment plan that you've done. So for the learner, they are able to see the assessment plan that you've assigned to them in their To-Do tab under a table which is called Confirmation of Assessment Plans. And if you've assigned an assessment plan to them, they will be able to go to the hyperlink at the end, confirm this assessment plan. The assessment plan will open up, they'll be able to read exactly what you said, they'll be able to see what the target date is, and then in the learner confirmation area, they can tick the box to say, I confirm that I agree to the above information, and then save it. That assessment plan will then disappear from their front page, from their list of confirmation of assessment plans that they need to do. In the support area, resources for all users, there is a section for assessors using assessment plans. There's a document in there that will also show you how to use the assessment plans in full. There's also a different section here which is just specifically around using the multiple assessment action plans tab. So there's a couple of documents in there that you can have a look at. Thank you.